always keep in mind that the journey of self-improvement is your northern compass. Just for a moment, try to picture yourself going through your entire life with the conviction that each and every obstacle and difficulty was actually preparing you for something more significant. What if I told you that this is not just a feel-good mantra, but rather a principle that is deeply rooted in an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time? At this point, I am aware that it may sound like just another inspirational quote that you scroll past on your social media feed. It is true that I am referring to Stoicism, which is a philosophy that not only teaches us how to endure the challenges that life throws at us, but also encourages us to embrace those challenges and turn them into our greatest strengths. Stoicism is a timeless wisdom that can serve as a beacon of light during our darkest times, as well as a daily guide to living with purpose and resilience. Today, we are going to delve deep into the heart of Stoicism and discover how this timeless wisdom can transform our lives. Stoic teachings provide a roadmap to not only surviving but also thriving in life, regardless of whether you are dealing with personal difficulties, professional difficulties, or simply the everyday chaos that is everyday life. They demonstrate to us that the ability to live a life that is meaningful has nothing to do with altering our circumstances, but rather with altering how we react to those circumstances. Therefore, if you have ever had the experience of feeling as though you are constantly fighting against the tide, if you have ever wondered how to find peace in the midst of the storm, or if you are simply curious about how ancient wisdom can shed light on our contemporary lives, then you have successfully arrived at the right place. Participate with me as we investigate the ways in which we can utilize the Stoic principles to turn our difficulties into our greatest victories, thereby gaining the ability to live our lives with intention, integrity, and an unconquerable spirit. Together, let us embark on this journey with the goal of figuring out how to transform the challenges that stand in our way into the necessary stepping stones for our most significant evolution. While we embark on this journey of transformation together, I would like to extend an invitation to you to click the subscribe button and remain with us throughout the entirety of the video. You will not want to miss a single part of this life-altering journey, because every moment has been carefully crafted to motivate and enable you to achieve your goals. First and foremost, you should question your limits and be open to growth and potential. Do you ever find yourself settling for something that is much less than what you are capable of? In many of our lives, we tend to coast through days, weeks, or even years without really questioning the boundaries that we have established for ourselves. This is a common theme that we frequently encounter. Nevertheless, this is the point at which the powerful question, why not, comes into the spotlight. Despite the fact that it is a straightforward inquiry, it has the potential to peel back the layers of fear and complacency that slow us down. Now let's add a dash of Stoicism to this discussion. There was no such thing as the Stoics taking a back seat and allowing life to run their course. They were proactive, constantly examining their lives, their decisions, and their actions through the lens of virtue and self-improvement. They were always looking for ways to improve themselves. In the face of a challenge or a decision that needs to be made, a Stoic would ask themselves, why not take the path that leads to growth? This is not about taking risks without thinking them through, rather. It is about making choices that are conscious and deliberate, and that are in alignment with your higher self and your core values. Consequently, when you find yourself at a crossroads, feeling hesitant or uncertain about stepping into the unknown or leveling up your efforts, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, why not strive for that promotion, start that project, or take that leap of faith toward your dreams? These junctures of decision-making are the times when our destinies are actually molded. However, here is the kicker: asking why not is not only about confronting the challenges that come from the outside, it is also about confronting the narratives that we have within ourselves that restrict us. Confronting one's own self-doubt, the fear of failing, and the comfort of maintaining the status quo are all central to this endeavor. A call to action that encourages you to rise above mediocrity and embrace the potential for greatness that lies within you is being presented to you here. It is important to keep in mind that every Stoic hero you have ever read about, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, tended to view difficulties as opportunities for personal development. Rather than settling for a life of ease and comfort, they actively sought out the path that would lead to virtue, resilience, and personal excellence. This is exactly what you are doing when you ask yourself, why not? You are stepping into the arena, ready to engage fully with life, to grow, to learn, and to emerge stronger and wiser than you were before. Consequently, the next time you find yourself hesitating, keep in mind that you have the ability to rewrite the story. You possess the power to go beyond the boundaries that you have set for yourself. Adopt the Stoic way of thinking. Ask yourself, why not, and discover the extent to which your curiosity, bravery, and dedication can take you. Have you ever challenged yourself and overcome it? If yes, comment why, otherwise comment and please. Number 2, make improving your health your primary focus. The concept of prokopton, which refers to the idea of making consistent progress or being a work in progress, is perfectly aligned with this unrelenting pursuit of improvement within the realm of Stoicism. Stoics held the belief that one should concentrate on what one could control, specifically one's own virtues, actions, and reactions to the happenings of the outside world. There was no pursuit of perfection, rather, they were looking for advancement. And that is precisely what I am encouraging you to pursue: progress that is consistent and unrelenting. Consider the following: the pursuit of improvement is at the core of all things that are meaningful, whether it be the enhancement of your abilities at work, the development of your relationships, or the cultivation of inner peace. Growth is the driving force behind a life that is meaningful. Your alignment with the Stoic virtue of self-mastery is inextricably linked to the fact that you are obsessed with learning and growing. You are dedicated to the process of becoming the best version of yourself, not for the purpose of receiving praise or approval from others, but rather because you believe that this is the most genuine way to conduct your life in accordance with your values. The thing is, however, that being obsessed with improvement does not mean that you should be harsh or unforgiving with yourself by any means. Embracing a compassionate and persistent dedication to your own development is the key to success. The key is to rejoice in even the most insignificant of your accomplishments while maintaining a craving for the next stage of your development. And the answer is yes. There will be obstacles and failures along the way. However, in true Stoic fashion, you will view these not as defeats, but rather as priceless lessons and stepping stones on your way to becoming a better person. The question now is, how do you develop this fixation on making things better? Begin by establishing goals that are crystal clear, intentional, and in line with your fundamental principles. Every day, take some time to reflect on your actions and choices, and ask yourself how well they align with your goals for personal development. Challenges should be viewed as opportunities to learn and to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. First and foremost, maintain an attitude of openness and curiosity, and be willing to modify and improve your approach at all times. Your potential is limitless. There is always another layer to discover, another skill to master, and another virtue to embody each and every day. This never-ending search is where we discover the greatest joy and fulfillment in our lives. Therefore, let us embrace this obsession with improvement, not only as a means to an end, but also as a way of life. As we travel together along this path, let us encourage and motivate one another to achieve new heights, to become the architects of our own destiny, and to live each day with a sense of purpose, passion, and an insatiable thirst for growth. Third, put all of your heart and soul into it. Individuals who adhere to the Stoic philosophy are renowned for their resiliency, their unwavering commitment to their principles, and their unwaveringness. When they make a commitment to something, they give it their all. This is not because they want to be praised or recognized for their efforts, rather. They do so because they are aware that this kind of unwavering dedication is the foundation of a life that is both virtuous and meaningful. They do not engage with their responsibilities or passions with a half-hearted approach, rather. They devote their entire being to their endeavors, exemplifying the principle that the value of our actions will not be determined by the results of our actions, but rather by the extent to which we are committed to them. Giving it your all means directing all of your energy, concentration, and efforts toward the accomplishment of your goals, regardless of what those goals may be. It's about getting out of bed every morning and making the decision that you're not going to coast through life on autopilot, but rather that you're going to actively shape your destiny with the thoughts, choices, and actions that you make. Not only is it important to have big dreams, but it is also important to act big, to take those courageous and decisive steps that propel you forward, even when the path ahead is fraught with difficulties and uncertainties. However, here is an important point to keep in mind. Giving it your all is not only about what you do, it is also about how you conduct yourself when you do it. Sincerity, passion, and integrity are the qualities that should be exhibited when approaching your tasks, your relationships, and your own personal development. Regardless of whether you are working on a project, spending time with loved ones, or reflecting on your own personal development, it is important to be fully present and engaged in whatever you are doing. In addition, when challenges appear, which they will invariably do, it is necessary to confront them with bravery and resiliency, drawing on your own inner strength to persevere through the challenges that you face. In that case, what are some ways that you can begin to give your life everything you have? To begin, you should determine what is truly important to you, which includes your fundamental principles, your most cherished objectives, and your most profound passions. You should then make a commitment to pursuing these with every fiber of your being, not out of a sense of obligation, but rather because you are driven by a genuine desire to live your life to the fullest and most authentic extent possible. You should set high standards for yourself and make it a goal to meet them every day. Always keep in mind that giving everything you have is not a one-time event, rather, it is a way of life. Each and every day, in each and every moment, with each and every breath, you make a decision. Through the process of adopting this philosophy, you will come to realize that it not only helps you move closer to achieving your objectives, but it also provides you with a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose in your journey. Therefore, let us make a collective commitment to this course of action, encouraging and motivating one another to give our utmost, to live our lives with unyielding passion and purpose, and to leave behind a legacy of excellence and virtue that will endure for generations to come. Because in the end, it is not only about what we accomplish, but also about who we become as a result of experiencing it. Number 4, remain on the path you have chosen. We are fortunate to live in a world that is replete with a plethora of distractions, temptations, and, if we are being completely honest, a great deal of reasons to stray from the path that we have chosen. However, this is where the real magic takes place when you make a decision to stick to your path in spite of all the noise and chaos that is going on around you, you are taking a stand for something that is more significant. You are showing respect for your accomplishments, your principles, and ultimately yourself. Stoics were aware of the fact that life is full of distractions that can cause us to stray from our true purpose, but they also understood the significance of staying the course and remaining unwavering in their dedication to their principles and objectives. Stoics believed that staying on one's path was not only about achieving personal success, rather, it was a matter of maintaining one's integrity and character. What does it mean for you to continue on the path that you have chosen? This means having a crystal clear understanding of the path you want to take in life, being aware of the values you uphold, the goals you have set for yourself, and the kind of person you aspire to be. Setting your sights and navigating by them is what it means to do so, even when storms come and the waters become choppy. However, the most important thing to keep in mind is that remaining on your path does not mean being rigid or inflexible. Being flexible, gaining knowledge from your experiences, and adjusting your sails when necessary are all essential components of staying true to your course in life, which is characterized by its inherent unpredictability. What is the most important thing is that these modifications are always in accordance with your fundamental principles and long-term goals. So, what steps can you take to make sure that you continue on the path that you have chosen? It all begins with greater self-awareness. Make sure you give yourself some time to think about your ideals, your objectives, and your plans for your life. You should jot them down, return to them frequently, and use them as a guide through life. It is important to develop the self-control necessary to make decisions that are in line with your path, even if those decisions are difficult or unpopular. And don't forget that resiliency is essential. Whenever you come across challenges or failures, you should look at them as opportunities to fortify your determination and increase your level of dedication to the journey you are planning. Do you agree with these? If yes, please comment 1. If not, please comment 0. Number 5, don't concentrate on the results. When we are taught to keep our focus on the end goal, we are taught to evaluate our level of success based on the outcomes we achieve. What if, however, I told you that letting go of your attachment to the results of your actions would bring you a great deal of freedom and power? Stoicism shines in this regard, providing us with a profoundly liberating perspective that has the potential to transform our approach to life as well as our understanding of what constitutes success. We learn from the Stoics that there are things that are under our control and things that are beyond our control. We are responsible for our actions, including our intentions and our attitudes. What about the results? The majority of the time, they involve elements that are beyond our control. Because we are clinging to something that we are unable to truly command, when we become fixated on results, we put ourselves in a position where we are likely to experience frustration, disappointment, and even despair. What exactly does it mean to get your attention away from the results of your actions? In other words, it means putting your whole being into whatever you are doing and giving your absolute best effort to the task at hand. It means being fully engaged with the process, embracing the challenges and learning opportunities that it presents, and not being overly attached to the final result, regardless of whether it is a project at work, a personal goal, or a relationship. Just try to picture how liberating it would be to perform your work with enthusiasm and dedication, not because of the potential benefits it could bring you in terms of rewards or recognition, but simply because you have faith in what you are doing with your life. Stoic wisdom can be summed up in this phrase, discovering fulfillment and significance in the actions themselves, rather than merely focusing on the potential outcomes of those actions. It is important to note, however, that not focusing on outcomes does not imply a lack of interest in achieving success or a failure to establish objectives. The focus should be on redefining success in terms of your own actions and character, rather than that of others. Have you demonstrated honesty, bravery, and dedication in your actions? Have you developed and gained knowledge? According to the Stoic perspective, these are the right indicators of success. The question now is, how can you begin to incorporate this way of thinking into your life? Start by thinking about the things that are important to you and the kind of person you want to be. If you want to achieve your goals, you should keep these things in mind and concentrate more on the characteristics you want to develop and the actions you want to take than you do on the rewards you hope to obtain from the outside world. You should try to redirect your energy toward your efforts and attitudes whenever you find that you are becoming anxious about the outcomes of something. During these times, you should gently remind yourself of what is truly under your control. Sixth, you attract what you are when you embody it. Imagine that you are living your life as a mirror, reflecting back not only what you project to the outside world, but also what is contained within you. Your experiences and interactions will be tainted by negative emotions such as fear, bitterness, and negativity if you are filled with these traits. On the other hand, if you make an effort to cultivate virtues such as kindness, resilience, and integrity, these characteristics will manifest themselves in your life, attracting positive experiences and relationships. Because they were aware that this is the basis upon which a good life is constructed, the Stoics placed a strong emphasis on the importance of cultivating a strong and virtuous character. They held the belief that although you are unable to control the world around you, you are able to control the characteristics that you choose to exhibit within that world. Putting your attention on becoming the best possible version of yourself will naturally result in the creation of a life that reflects those qualities. What are some ways that you can put this idea of you get what you are into practice in your day-to-day activity? To begin, make it a habit to regularly engage in self-reflection. Conduct a critical yet compassionate analysis of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, with the goal of identifying areas in which you have room for development and improvement. You should make an effort to cultivate virtues that speak to you, whether it be the ability to be courageous in the face of adversity, perseverance in the pursuit of your goals, or compassion toward other people. It is important to keep in mind that this is not about being perfect or never screwing up. Having awareness of both your internal state and the ways in which it manifests itself externally is essential. No matter how difficult it may be, you should make it a priority to align your actions with the principles and values that are most important to you. And when you fail, as we all do, it is about having the humility and resilience to learn from your experiences and continue your journey of self-improvement. This is something that we all do. You give yourself the ability to be the architect of your own reality when you allow yourself to embrace this Stoic wisdom. You have come to the realization that although you are unable to control everything that occurs to you, you do have a great deal of control over how you react and the person that you choose to be. As you bring your being into alignment with your highest ideals, you will discover that the world around you begins to reflect the same quality and depth that you have brought into your being. Number 7, accept and embrace the obstacles. Take a moment to reflect on the challenges that you have encountered in your own life. Each and every one of us is subject to them, whether they are insignificant annoyances or significant obstacles. Depending on the circumstances, our natural response could be one of frustration, discouragement, or even despair. On the other hand, what if we did not view these challenges as challenges, but rather as hidden gifts, as catalysts for personal development and self-discovery. It is the core of this Stoic principle that we are discussing. On the contrary, the Stoics were not being flippant or dismissive of the challenges that life presents when they discussed obstacles. They were completely aware of the unpleasantness and difficulty that can be brought about by challenges. Having said that, they also held the belief that within each and every challenge lies the potential for an equal or even greater advantage. The experience that we have is not determined by the obstacle itself, but rather by how we respond to it. We can transform ourselves from being helpless victims of our circumstances into active, empowered agents of change if we make the conscious decision to view the challenges we face as opportunities. Therefore, how can you put the phrase "the obstacle is the way" into practice in your day-to-day life? To get started, you should reframe your perspective. When you are confronted with a challenge, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this situation help me grow? Instead of allowing challenges to sap your energy and spirit, you should use them as stepping stones to build resilience, creativity, and perseverance. Embrace the realization that the most rewarding paths frequently involve the most difficult ascents for you to complete. The challenges you face, the obstacles you surmount, and the perseverance you display are all factors that contribute to the development of your character and the narrative of your life. Every challenge presents you with the chance to hone your virtues, such as patience, bravery, and adaptability, which will ultimately help you become a more resilient and knowledgeable person. In addition, keep in mind that overcoming challenges frequently calls for creative thinking and a willingness to go in a different direction than what is typically done. It is precisely in these times of difficulty that we are compelled to broaden our perspectives, to think in unconventional ways, and to uncover new capabilities that we were previously unaware we possessed. When we adopt a Stoic attitude toward challenges, we also cultivate a sense of gratitude for the opportunities for growth that these challenges present. We come to recognize that the most profound lessons are frequently acquired through the experience of adversity, and as a result, we learn to appreciate the journey, with all of its challenges and obstacles. The eighth point is to do what little you can. In the grand tapestry that is life, it is simple to experience feelings of being overpowered by the magnitude of our aspirations or the intricacy of the difficulties we must overcome. It's possible that we might ask ourselves, what difference could possibly be made by my insignificant contribution? However, here's the thing: every significant accomplishment is the sum of its parts, with each one being crafted by individual actions that appear to be of little significance. Stoics were aware of the fact that we do not have control over the grand outcomes. Rather, we have control over the choices we make moment by moment. They teach us to concentrate on the here and now, to act in a manner that is appropriate and essential at this moment, and to avoid becoming immobilized by the magnitude of the task at hand or overly fixated on the goal that is further away. The phrase "do what little you can" is a call to action that encourages us to actively and purposefully engage with life, regardless of how insignificant or modest our contributions may appear to be initially. In what ways can we put this principle into practice? To begin, you should begin by dividing your more ambitious objectives into more manageable sub-goals. Put your attention on what you can accomplish today, even if it's just a single step in the right direction. It is important to keep in mind that the size of the action is not as important as consistency and persistence. Every baby step is a building block, and together they contribute to the formation of a foundation that will ultimately support your more ambitious goals. Further, this Stoic way of thinking encourages us to find value and meaning in the process itself, rather than focusing solely on the outcome of the process. When we concentrate on doing what we can, we become more present, more engaged, and frequently more effective than when we focus on doing what we can. We gain an appreciation for the journey, with all of its twists and turns, and we come to realize that our daily efforts and attitudes are the source of our potential for growth and fulfillment. By adhering to this philosophy, we are also able to develop our capacity for humility and hardiness. We recognize that we do not possess absolute power, but we also affirm that we have agency and that we have an impact. Even in situations where progress appears to be slow or non-existent, we acquire the ability to be resourceful, to adapt, and to persevere. Number 9, modify your conception of what constitutes success. When we live in a world where success is frequently determined by things like material wealth, job titles, or the number of followers one has on social media, it is simple to lose sight of what is truly important. Nevertheless, what if we took a step back and re-examined the standards by which we measure success? Stoics teach us that true success is not about acquiring things or impressing other people. Rather, it is about developing a strong character, living in accordance with nature, and fulfilling our roles as human beings. It is about these things that we can achieve true success. The importance of being truthful, just, courageous, and wise is not contingent on the circumstances we find ourselves in. The power is firmly placed in our own hands when we take this approach to achieving success, which is a source of tremendous empowerment. It is possible that we are unable to exert control over the economy, the job market, or the opinions of other people. However, we are always able to exercise control over our own actions and virtues. So how can we begin to alter the way we think about what constitutes success? It all starts with some self-reflection. Let yourself some time to think about the things that are truly important to you and the kind of person you aspire to be. Think about the characteristics that you admire in other people and that you want to cultivate in yourself. Establishing goals that are congruent with these values, with a concentration on your own personal development and the ways in which you can positively impact the lives of others, is the next step. In addition, learning to appreciate the process rather than merely the result is an essential part of redefining success. Despite the fact that your efforts, resiliency, and progress may not result in immediate rewards, you should celebrate them nonetheless. It is important to keep in mind that success in Stoicism is not only about accomplishing your objectives, but also about how you respond to obstacles and failures. It is about preserving your honesty and composure in spite of the circumstances that are occurring outside of you. On top of that, shifting your conception of what constitutes success can result in increased levels of satisfaction and contentment. If you are not constantly seeking validation from other people, you will have the freedom to concentrate on the things that truly bring you happiness and satisfaction. There is a good chance that you will discover that the pursuit of virtue and meaningful engagement with the world is significantly more rewarding than any external achievement possibly could be. Number 10, refrain from attempting to obtain approval. Because of the fact that we live in a society that places such a high value on the approval and validation of other people, it is simple to become disoriented and forget our fundamental principles and the things that drive us in the pursuit of being liked. On the other hand, Stoicism provides a potent remedy for this external orientation by bringing to our attention the fact that our value and the decisions we make ought to be founded on our own principles and virtues, rather than on the fleeting opinions of other people. It is a lesson that we learn from the Stoics that seeking approval can be a form of enslavement. When we allow the perceptions of others to dictate our actions and our sense of self-worth, We allow ourselves to become hostages to the whims and judgments of other people. When we are able to free ourselves from the need for validation from others, however, we are able to experience a profound sense of freedom and authenticity. The pursuit of what we sincerely believe to be right and meaningful is something that we are able to do in accordance with our own values and beliefs, regardless of whether or not this causes us to gain popularity or praise. Thus, what are some ways that we can begin to disassociate our actions from the need to be liked? Developing a robust sense of self-awareness is the first and most important step in this process. In order to differentiate between actions that are driven by a desire for external validation and those that are rooted in our true selves, it is necessary for us to have an understanding of our motivations. Despite the fact that this is not always simple and calls for honesty and introspection, it is an essential step toward leading a life that is more genuine and provides more satisfaction. In the following step, we must work to develop self-assurance in our own judgments and choices. When it comes to directing our actions, the Stoics place a strong emphasis on the importance of reason and wisdom. We become less reliant on the approval of other people when we put our faith in our own reasoning and when we align our actions with the convictions that we have based on that reasoning. Due to the fact that we are aware that our decisions are founded on our most fundamental values, we are able to maintain our resolve even when they are not well received or misunderstood. Furthermore, it is essential to acknowledge and accept the notion that it is not only acceptable to not be liked by everyone, but that it is also normal and unavoidable. Every one of us is a one-of-a-kind individual who possesses our own set of beliefs, values, and points of view. It is impossible to please everyone, and if we tried to do so, we would have to constantly change and adapt to the expectations of others, which would cause us to lose our sense of who we are as individuals. Our ability to attract the right kind of relationships, those that are founded on genuine respect and shared values, is directly proportional to the degree to which we are genuine and true to ourselves. The knowledge that we are living our lives with integrity and in accordance with our Stoic principles can provide us with comfort, even when we are subjected to criticism or rejection. Avoid getting distracted by distractions. When we live in a world that is always demanding our time, attention, and energy that we have, learning to say no is a skill that is extremely valuable. It is not enough to simply refuse to engage in activities that we do not wish to do. We must also affirm our priorities, our values, and our independence. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on what is truly important and within our control, and this may require us to turn down opportunities, requests, or even demands that are not in line with our fundamental principles. The Stoics were prominent proponents of living in harmony with nature, which included acknowledging and respecting the boundaries that we have set for ourselves. They were aware that our time and energy are limited resources, and that this means that we need to exercise discretion in the manner in which we distribute them. When this occurs, the act of declining an offer becomes an essential exercise in discernment. It is a means of ensuring that we are devoting our time and energy to what is truly meaningful and beneficial, rather than simply what is urgent or requested of us. If we are being completely honest, however, it can be a very difficult task to say no. Courage is required, particularly in situations where we have been socialized to please others or when we are afraid of missing out or disappointing other people. The Stoic approach, on the other hand, teaches us to value our own judgment and to make decisions based on reason and virtue rather than on fear or on the pressure that we feel from society. It is not enough to simply decline an offer when we say no. From a place of calm conviction, we are also making a profound statement about our priorities and our commitment to living an authentic life. The question now is, how can we improve our ability to say no? It all begins with clarity, which means being aware of what you believe in, what you hold dear, and the objectives you are working toward. As soon as you have a crystal clear understanding of your principles and your direction, it will be much simpler for you to determine which requests are in line with your path and which are not. Additionally, it is important to keep in mind that the act of declining an offer does not have to be harsh or confrontational. It can be done with kindness and respect, expressing gratitude for the offer while firmly declining it. Also, getting used to the idea of saying no can be very liberating. It releases you from burdens and commitments that are not necessary, enabling you to concentrate on the things that are truly important to you. As you learn to respect your own needs and boundaries, it also helps you develop a healthy sense of self-respect. In addition, and this may come as a surprise to some, it can result in increased respect from other people, who will acknowledge your genuineness and the clarity of your purpose. The 12th recommendation is to let it go with apathy. What are some ways that one can truly let go of indifference? The key is to recognize and internalize the difference between the things that we are able to control and the things that we are not able to control. Despite the fact that we have the ability to control our own efforts, attitudes, and virtues, we are unable to control the outcomes, the actions of others, or the whims of fate. As soon as we have a complete understanding of this, we will start to liberate ourselves from the feelings of frustration, anxiety, and disappointment that are caused by clinging to things that are beyond our control. It is important to note, however, that letting go with indifference does not mean that one does not care about anything. It entails having a profound concern for the things that are truly within our control, as well as accepting the rest of the world with a calm and collected demeanor. Our energy should be invested wisely, our passion and efforts should be poured into our actions, and we should let go of our attachment to the results and focus on the actions themselves. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you stopped agonizing over every little thing that didn't go your way, if you stopped getting involved in dramas that don't truly concern your core duties and values. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you stopped doing both of these things. Stoicism provides a path to inner peace and resilience, regardless of the challenges that life may present us with. This is the liberation that it offers. If we want to learn how to let go with indifference, what are some ways that we can do so? The practice of mindfulness, which involves paying attention to our responses and gently reminding ourselves to differentiate between things that are within our control and those that are not, is the first step. As is the case with any skill that is worth mastering, it requires practice. It is possible for us to begin with the insignificant annoyances that we encounter on a daily basis and gradually work our way up to more difficult challenges. And as we continue to practice, we will most likely come to an astonishing realization the less we attempt to exert control over things that are beyond our ability to manage, the more control we actually have over ourselves and the way we react. It is possible that even in the midst of chaos, we will discover a new sense of calm and clarity. Stoicism instructs us that our greatest strength lies within ourselves, in our capacity to choose our response, to concentrate on what truly matters, and to let go with grace. This is something that we learn as we travel through life and embrace the wisdom of Stoicism. It is important to keep in mind that the path to tranquility and fulfillment is not found in the acquisition of external accolades or possessions, but rather in the cultivation of virtue, determination, and inner peace. I would like to express my gratitude to you for accompanying me on this journey today and for actively participating in the Stoic Journal. If you would like to continue your exploration and gain a deeper understanding, please watch one of the videos that have been suggested to you on the screen. The more we work together, the more we become stronger, more wise, and more firmly rooted in the principles that lead us to a life that is purposeful and meaningful. If you find these contents helpful, feel free to share them with your friends and family. Additionally, as usual, since YouTube's algorithm prioritizes videos with many likes, if you enjoy this video, please click the like button to help our podcast reach a wider audience. You may also consider subscribing to the channel to receive notifications whenever I upload new content. YouTube will notify you accordingly. Thank you for your support and have a great day.